Post-apocalyptic survival, talking cats, alien game shows, death tournaments. Okay, I know this sounds completely unhinged, but stick with me on this one. Hey darling, welcome back. Boyce here, and here on my channel, my goal is to help you find your next book obsession. Today, we are talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman, and this is going to be interesting because from what I've heard, this book has converted more LitRPG skeptics than any other in the genre. If you have ever wondered what all the fuss is about with LitRPG but have not been interested in quite trying it yet, this might be your perfect entry point. Now, make sure to stay to the end because I have some surprising fun facts about this story that I know you're going to get a kick out of. And remember, if you're here for book reps and honest takes, subscribe so that you never miss a video. All right, darling, let's dive in. Now, this is a first look, which means you and I are going to figure out if we want to even put this book on our TBR. My first looks are my deep dives into popular books and lesser known gems that I think you might really love. Unlike my fresh off the press series where I dive into brand new releases, first looks focus on books that already have reader buzz and interest. I get to dig into what people are actually saying and help you cut through the hype. Think of it as your filter for separating genuine must-reads from overhyped disappointments, all based on real reader feedback and my 2 decades of industry experience. I am so old. Okay, let's look at the high-level info. This is book 1 of 7. It's an ongoing series that I think is planned for 10 books. The genre, LitRPG, post-apocalyptic, dark comedy. The niches are death games, survival horror, gaming satire, that kind of thing. The average rating is 4.7 out of 5 on Amazon with an insane 37,000 reviews on Amazon alone. The key tropes we're looking at in Dungeon Crawler Carl are LitRPG mechanics and progression, post-apocalyptic survival, we've been over that, a talking animal companion, which is a weakness of mine, dark humor coping mechanisms, death game competition, aliens, because why not? And unlikely found family. Fun fact number 1, you ready for it? Matt's spreadsheet for this series crashed his computer. Matt Dinniman tracked the entire series on a spreadsheet that grew to 198 pages. It got so massive it required a second spreadsheet to track the first one and eventually crashed his computer entirely. He had to hire someone to build a proper database because his world building was literally too big for Excel. And I thought I had a world building addiction, but he has put me to shame. So here's the absolutely bonkers premise that somehow works for this story. Aliens called the Boron Corporation basically buy Earth and restructure it into a massive multi-level dungeon for their live streamed game show called Dungeon Crawler World. Think The Hunger Games meets Dungeons and Dragons, but it's being broadcast to trillions of alien viewers across the galaxy. Humans get a choice. Become contestants in this deadly game show, or try to survive on the surface where all buildings and technology have been destroyed. Our protagonist, Carl, is a 27-year-old Coast Guard veteran who was working as a marine technician in Seattle, and his life was already kind of falling apart before the apocalypse hit. Oh my god, the sentences I say as a writer. He had just been cheated on by his girlfriend and was stuck taking care of her prize-winning show cat, Princess Donut. Side note, if I ever get a cat, I now know exactly what I'm going to call her. Then at 2:23 a.m. on a freezing January night, anyone who was indoors when the transformation happened died instantly. We're talking anyone with any sort of roof cover over their head. Cars, airplanes, subways, tents, cardboard boxes. Carl only survived because he was outside in his underwear chasing the cat who got herself stuck in a tree. So now it's this Coast Guard vet and a sassy Persian cat against the world, forced to enter the dungeon because freezing to death isn't exactly appealing. But here's what makes this special. This isn't just a video game, but make it a book. This comes from a talented, experienced writer who brings well-crafted plot development, excellent pacing, and genuine humor to what could have been an absolutely ridiculous premise. I mean, it is a ridiculous premise, but he does it really, really well. It blends the darkest, grittiest science fiction with Douglas Adams-level humor while tackling serious themes about capitalism, exploitation, and what it means to maintain your humanity when everything falls apart. It's LitRPG with actual literary merit, emotional depth, and surprisingly sharp social commentary, all disguised as a story about a guy in his underwear and his talking cat. I can't get over how weird this premise is, but I love it. If this book sounds like your next obsession, hit that like button with a warhammer, and let's move on to our next fun fact. Fun fact number 2. Princess Donut was not originally supposed to talk. Matt had planned for the cat to just be a regular cat, but Princess Donut became sapient and sassy, and it just happened naturally as he wrote. So now she is described as vital to the series and often steals scenes from the human protagonist. Because of course she does. That's what cats do. Okay, so before we continue, I want to just feature a little bit of merch from my shop. I picked this delightful sticker because it just screams Dungeon Crawler Carl to me. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I have a merch shop and I love to make stickers and sell enamel pins. I am absolutely addicted to merch, and I know you are too. So this one, I try to price it very affordably because I know how ridiculous merch can get. So to fuel our mutual merch obsession, I really try to keep these priced affordably. Let's get back into the video. Let's talk about some of the key highlights of this story. First, what makes this book special? I mean, this isn't your typical lit RPG written by someone who just discovered game mechanics last week. Matt Dinniman is an experienced writer who brings real literary chops to the genre. We're talking great characters that develop over time, plot development that goes beyond kill monster, get loot, excellent pacing that keeps you turning the pages, and genuine humor that serves the story. In addition to moral complexity that makes you think. And of course, yes, deliciously brutal violence when the story calls for it. And sometimes when it doesn't. From everything I'm reading and all of the feedback I've seen, I consistently hear that he is elevating what LitRPG can be as a genre. So listen, if you love fantasy, but you have been side-eyeing LitRPG, thinking it's all, juvenile power fantasies and spreadsheet fiction, this book, from everything I can tell, bridges that gap beautifully. It has the heart and writing quality you expect from good fantasy. Complex characters, emotional depth, meaningful themes, but it also delivers those addictive progression elements that make LitRPG so compelling. You get to watch Carl level up and gain new abilities, but you also get to watch him grow as a person and develop a genuine relationship with Princess Donut. Oh my god, that sentence is so weird now that it's out of my mouth, but I'm not editing it out. Is there anything I need to give you a heads up about? Yes, this gets extremely dark, and we're talking graphic violence, the near extinction of humanity, and some genuinely disturbing themes wrapped in dark humor. Also, there's definitely some controversial reception around this book. Some people think it's absolutely brilliant and the future of the genre, while others dismiss it as too gimmicky to take seriously. And yeah, the premise is ridiculous. I'm not going to pretend a talking cat in post-apocalyptic dungeon crawler world sounds sophisticated, okay? But I'll talk more about why this works in a little bit because the execution is what matters here. Okay, fun fact number 3. This audiobook has gotten so elaborate with the series that they've brought in celebrity guest narrators, including Patrick Warburton. The main narrator, Jeff Hayes, is apparently also so good at female voices that people genuinely thought there was a secret female co-narrator, which is really impressive. And hey, if you love these fun facts and silly little things, make sure you join my email list to get more info about the books that didn't quite make it onto my YouTube channel, and to get more fun facts like this, because you know you love that behind the scenes stuff. Now, really good fantasy fiction has levels to it. On the surface, yes, it has to be a great story, but beneath the action, there needs to be a soul. Something that speaks to you and heals a part of you. That's my opinion anyway. And from what I can tell, this book speaks to anyone who has ever felt like an underdog thrown into circumstances beyond their control. I mean, Carl isn't special. He's just a regular guy trying to survive with limited resources and an unexpected companion. The humor serves as a major coping mechanism for dealing with trauma, which feels incredibly real and relatable. It's about finding family in unexpected places and maintaining your humanity when the world is ending. And let's be real, right now, it sure feels like the world is on fire. Now, if you're looking for a romance, this is not your bag. This is entirely a lit RPG, male-driven action fantasy. Just so you know, no romance. He's not making out with any alien babes or anything. Sorry to disappoint. Let's talk a bit about reader buzz. Here is what readers are saying about the key elements. The characters. People absolutely love Carl and Princess Donut and their dynamic. Readers are consistently surprised by how much they care about this unlikely duo. I mean, Carl starts out as just an ordinary guy who's kind of a mess, but he grows into someone genuinely compelling without becoming overpowered. And Princess Donut is a scene stealer. She's sassy, she's demanding, and she has better character development, apparently, than most of the human protagonists. The criticism here is that side characters can feel a bit flat. Some readers say they feel like video game NPCs rather than fully realized people, which can be disappointing if you want a full, well-rounded ensemble cast. The world building is where things get really interesting. Readers love how creative and detailed the dungeon levels are. Each floor has its own ecosystem, its own rules, and challenges that feel genuinely inventive. The Alien Corporation backdrop and the reality TV element add layers that keep surprising people. I couldn't get too much detail on why it was surprising, but I think it was because people just didn't want to give away too many spoilers. So that's something you're going to have to develop as you read. So let's talk about the magic system. Here's where the LitRPG elements really shine. The game mechanics are well thought out without being too overwhelming. You get the stats, achievements, skill trees, and progression that feels really satisfying. Readers say that they love the creative achievement system and how the mechanics integrate with the story rather than taking over. Let's talk about fun fact number 4. Dungeon Crawler Carl started as a web fiction and conquered traditional publishing. And what I mean by that is this began as a free serial on a website called Royal Road in 2020 and became so popular that Penguin Random House picked up the print rights, which is incredibly rare. From my research, it looks like the audiobooks now outsell the physical copies, and there's apparently a Seth MacFarlane produced TV adaptation in development, which, yes. So much yes. So let's talk a little bit about expectations. What I expect as I read is fast-paced action with genuine character development, creative world building that justifies the absurd premise, and humor that doesn't undercut the emotional stakes of the moment. I am hoping for the promised blend of the darkest, grittiest science fiction with the humor of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to actually deliver on both fronts. And what I hope doesn't happen is that I really hope the game mechanics don't become overwhelming, and I hope the humor doesn't become repetitive. If this is truly going to be an introduction to the LitRPG genre for somebody who doesn't really read it, the mechanics of it can't be too overwhelming. They can't be too inundated into the story, and that's a really difficult balance to strike. So I'm thinking that the humor is going to help anyone who doesn't like LitRPG push through anything that might feel a little too much. Okay, fun fact number 5 is on the way in just a few minutes, so hang in there, we're almost done. Now, audience info. This is what you've been waiting for. Are you going to love this, like it, or hate it entirely? Here's what I'm thinking from my research. Who's going to like it? Fantasy readers curious about LitRPG, but who want quality writing. Anyone who enjoys dark humor and apocalyptic fiction, gamers who want to see RPG mechanics done thoughtfully and really well, readers who love unlikely partnerships and found family, people who appreciate the satire about reality TV and capitalism. Those, I think, are the people who are really, really going to like this story. Who will want to skip it? People who prefer straightforward fantasy without game elements, readers looking for romance or traditional fantasy quests. You're probably not going to love this. From everything I have read, I think the target audience is gamers, obviously, as well as younger audiences who really like that humor, but it has enough depth for adult readers who enjoy genre-bending fiction. Where can you get it? It is available ebook, paperback, hardcover, audiobook. Apparently, the audiobook comes the most recommended. The Jeff Hayes narration is supposedly exceptional, and I'm really excited to hear it. There are also special editions, hardcovers, The print edition includes a bonus novella called Backstage at the Pineapple Cabaret. So there you go. Okay, you have been very patient with me. So here is fun fact number 5. Fans actually get to vote on story elements. Matt is so interactive with his fan base that his Patreon subscribers actually get to vote on certain story outcomes, like what comes out of loot boxes. He's basically crowdsourcing parts of his world building, which is very fitting for a story about a televised game show. So here's what I want to know. Have you read Dungeon Crawler Carl? Are you a LitRPG skeptic like I was? I know. You're probably thinking, Boyce, you loser. You write this genre, and you're correct. But I was a skeptic at first, and it was my buddy Hannibal Forge who completely hooked me on the genre, and now I love it. I would really love for you to drop your thoughts below. I am especially curious to hear if this book changed anyone's mind about the genre, because from everything I've researched, it seems to be the LitRPG that wins over fantasy purists. Now, if this helped you figure out your next read, please hit that subscribe button for more book recommendations that I think you're really going to love. Give this video a like if you're adding this to your TBR. Don't forget to check out today's merch feature in the shop because that sticker is adorable. All links are below. And hey, if you love dark fantasy, my own books are available everywhere, so please support your favorite book-obsessed author to help me continue to fuel my insane book hauls. Your next video is popping up right here, so keep the book talk going. Happy reading, my darling.